Oh, we weren't live?
We were, man. We're always live. I just, made a couple adjustments,
No, that was fun. That was an experience too.
I can't remember who he was with though, but it was a good show. I don't know if he's with Snoop or something.
No, I think he came by himself. Oh no, with Nav.
Talking about the most recent one?
Yeah, when he came with Nav.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I don't listen to music like that. I've heard like a few songs on there, the main ones, but when the beat drops, bro, the inside of you feel different.
Goes crazy.
Bro, it's like a frequency. Like,
Off the Molly?
What do you think that does to your body without without any substance? What do you think sound or like the vibrations actually does for you, if anything?
Oh man.
Well, we're talking about frequencies, right?
Frequencies, or just being at a concert and that those bass sounds, those vibrations, everything that's coming at you, or everything that you're experiencing. What does that do to your feelings? Like, what have you guys experienced?
I love feeling music like that because it's more physical. Like, yeah, you can hear it in your ears on your eardrums, but then once it's like at such a high intensity and now it's rattling like your organs and you can feel it like adjusting your blood inside your body. It's a different feeling. You just hear it. Even in the headphones, it's better than like on a clock radio.
Yeah.
On your car, if you have a system company, you can feel that. It hits differently.
Well, yeah, because if you're in a car and they got subs, their shit's subbing the whole car vibrating. I feel like you're getting a massage.
Yeah, I've been in a couple cars where it's like a
It's cool, but it's too much sometimes. Your uncle, like I got nauseous in there before. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I think I've been in there. We were cheaping that 4th of July once. I think he was bumping in there.
Oh, random.
So yeah, your Uncle Steve.
Yeah, my Uncle Steve
too. Nice.
Do a good bass in a car, man.
Yeah.
Or sub. Like
subwoofer, yeah, those definitely bring out the bass and sound.
I have one in my car, and I can't live without it because my dad had the system when I was a kid. So I was just used to, like you said, falling asleep in the back to the rattling.
and good sounds.
Yeah, it's like good music.
Especially when it's hooked up right, you can hear the voices instead of the beat over.
Yeah, Alpine equalizer with the little buttons you could adjust up and down before it was like all electronic on the deck.
Yeah, now you have to hear it.
So are you guys' ears tuned to the good quality music? Like good quality, also good speakers. Compared to like if you hear a crappier speaker, like does your ear like notice that difference or pick up that change or quality?
It's like if you get a Sony speaker compared to like a Bose speaker. Some Sony speakers might be good, but a Bose speaker like really brings out the quality, the clarity, the music, the sound.
Yeah, it could be the balance between the treble and the bass. One could be off balance and just throwing the sound out in your middies.
Yeah, dude.
You gotta adjust all that on the equalizer so it can be balanced.
So
that's like having good speakers like JBLs and stuff, like JBL Boombox, Party Box. Yeah. Now, like I get spoiled with good sound, where it's like, oh, I love the quality, and then I can hear the difference in say another car or something like that. It doesn't really throw it off, but I notice it.
That one I feel like is set. So like, he might like a different type of bass than me. So like, even sound is adjusted to how you want it to sound.
True.
Which is different.
Yeah, I'm a bass head. I love that bass. But you still gotta be able to hear what else is going on and have that balance.
I like the treble.
Yeah? Are you a singer at all? Like, do you kind of pay attention more to the lyrics?
I pay attention to the lyrics.
Okay, so that's like your priority there.
You ever ride around the south side? Like, and hear the Hondas riding around in his voice?
Or Mexican music. Cumbias or something like that.
Treble being really high.
Hey, there's no beat in the back, it's his voice.
Dude, I like, in songs specifically, I can't remember lyrics for the life of me.
Same,
but the melody and how the chorus goes, I'll be able to make the same sound, same frequency. I just don't know the words. Yeah. So I like just hear the melodies and all these songs, dude, and it's fire.
You can make beats off your mouth, like beatboxing, like Roddy Ricch the Box. He made that beat with his mouth.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Well, we're all operating at a certain frequency, I think, right? The human being has a certain frequency we operate on.
You're right. Yeah.
I forget what it is, but some megahertz, right?
I think it's 432 hertz. But that's just the music that I listen to that's supposed to be more in tune with the human body.
Gotcha.
432 hertz. They call it I don't know if that one's a miracle tone, but there's certain names for certain hertz.
Right.
That will vibrate with the human body. And
yeah, right.
What I've read is that Bob Marley, the Beatles, they recorded in that 432 hertz.
Purposefully?
Specifically, for that reason. Whereas now on the radio, they'll play it at a separate one that's off. So now it's off skew with your body.
Yeah.
Do you think that affects us?
Yeah.
It throws us off our vibe, maybe?
100%. It's just shit that we can't see.
But sometimes, you adjust, right? Like, for example, when I go to the gym, I'm listening to, different kind of music because the frequency you're operating when you're at the gym, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, straight up.
You're not at a low tempo. Like if I'm doing cardio, if I'm on a treadmill, I'm listening to like some EDM music, something that's gonna get my
master BPMs.
Exactly.
See, on that, I feel like each person's different, though, too.
Yeah, you're right.
With their frequencies that they kind of like vibe with more. Because, like, specifically, I always go back to the wrestling. Like, when I used to warm up for wrestling, it'd be to like Prince Royce, bachata, like Corazón Sin Cara.
That's crazy.
These songs like that.
You was
Where I was just
Right.
no, I was trying to be like
You were trying to like
mellow and chill because I knew that how I operated the best
that gets you into that
was
moment.
calm and
Right.
like when my mind's going, it's just like no, my mind goes naturally.
And they
So
say
in that
combat-
moment to zone in on that,
Yeah.
you know, on that match, and then to like let my body loose, because then I could get out of stuff. I can get them flowing. I can feel their vibe more. I can feel the momentum coming, and then moving out of that way, and then putting energy that way, like. But I needed my body to like be like able to dance bachata or something like that, like because the fluidity of it, man,
you gotta
it
be
helps so
relaxed.
much. Yeah, relax. And a lot of the other dudes would listen to like hard rock or something like that, just and I was just like that. Just didn't vibe. I didn't vibe with that.
Yeah,
Like I couldn't get hyped to that. Like I'm not a hyped person. I'm like always like I need to calm down in order to like execute within
It
that.
depends on the mood, whatever vibe you're trying to go for.
Yeah.
Sometimes I listen to music in the gym, or I listen to like a motivational thing, and then it'll kind of push you a little bit more too. But it can be either
Low-key.
or.
Low key.
Yeah, anything that gets you going.
It's like hearing those confident expressions, dude. Change what we're feeling on the inside and what we can do because someone else is showing us the mentality that we can't have. And then we implement it, and it's like boom. But you going in there, like I feel like walking into here, like having that mindset of like greatness, you know, and like expecting greatness, like coming because I'm preparing to provide that expression here, that great expression here, the full expression here, and then like in trusting the process, trusting that it's just gonna lay out like a red carpet down Hollywood, just like walking on it because it's like that's the mentality. It's like envisioning and preparation.
Yeah, you're prepping for
You
it,
know?
and it's more likely to happen if you're doing that work prior. I mean, you could also not be focusing on it, and it may happen that way anyways, but it's just more likely to happen once you're pushing that intention and thinking about it.
Yeah, the
You're
intention
pushing the vibe,
behind
but you're
those
also
thoughts,
thinking.
powerful. For sure, dude. Wow. Yeah.
Pushing the intention.
So on that note, pushing the intention, switching the intention from like the conversating, I wanted to jump into breath work again, similar to what we did last week, but he has different experiences or different knowledge on different breath work techniques. So he's gonna show us one, and this is the All Talks of Life podcast, where we like to get deep. So let's start off with a nice little breath work meditation.
Let's see. I like the one that you did on the last podcast. You just did slow deep
Three.
breaths.
I did like the 3 sets.
You did. You inhaled. And did you hold?
I held for like 3 seconds.
Okay.
So
'Cause there is a
take us
box
a little
technique.
deeper. Take us a little deeper. Hold on.
Sure. So like something similar to what you did is a box technique, right? Like a box. Think of a square, 4. So like similar, 4 seconds for an inhale, 4 seconds on the hold, 4 seconds on the exhale, and 4 seconds to hold again.
Can you give us like a quick
Sure.
demonstration?
So,
Just
I'll just exhale all the air out. Begin. So it's like 1, 2.
I'm like, bro, I could not be going to any parliaments. It's like 19 on the weekend, bro.
oh,
Bro, that shit value. Hell yeah, bro.
yeah.
Now that's getting, that was only for the winter though, bro.
Watching that and experiencing it, I low key like felt my
my
blood pressure just chilling, calming. You know, like I feel that pump because it's like I feel the heartbeat,
I
right?
feel relaxed. I feel like my heartbeat's still.
Yeah, I feel relaxed, but dude, I feel like
I know.
yeah, I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that like that calmness, that presence, that
Yeah.
presence, that present energy.
That's one of them. So like the box one, that's like a simple one to do. We were talking about one where they do like 6 deep breaths. I do it while I'm driving mainly because you can focus on a wide, like, I don't know, area to not focus on.
Yeah,
Something
like
far
like
away.
yeah.
The distance. So the further it is away, the more information you're going to take in. Like if we're here inside of a closed room, you're kind of limited to this, but that's still okay to just like take in everything that you can see in your visual space, but not focusing on anything in particular. But 6 deep breaths like that, no particular seconds of inhale or exhale, but just deep in, deep out. It's called belly breathing, right? Like you start down here in your diaphragm, use your diaphragm to fill up your belly, then your chest, and then if you can think about it, like filling up your head, And then exhaling,
Oxygen,
just
yeah.
relaxing on the way out, not forcing it out or anything. So that's like 6 deep breaths to lower your blood pressure. Some Japanese study, which I can't really reference other than it's in here. That's another one.
Do you think it's like generate, or it's like, is it like transferring energy or generating energy that's already there, or transferring the energy that's already there? Or
like what I learned from Joe Dispenza's work, so his breath work, Joe Dispenza, he has a practice like that where like you tighten your perineum, which is like in your groin, and you use it like during sex or when you pee, like that tightening of that muscle, and you tighten that up as you're inhaling fully. Same like kind of sequence of the belly breathing, chest up until your crown chakra, and hold there as long as you can. And then when you can't, you just relax and let it all flow out, and then you continue that process again and again. And then that's where more of like bringing energy from your sacrum and then like squeezing it and pushing it up into your cranium up here. But he explains it as a spiraling, which increases the effect of the energy versus just going straight up to your brain or something.
Do you think breathing in darkness or during the daytime, do you think those have benefits too?
Ask the question again. Breathing in the daytime.
Yeah, or like right when you wake up when it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think there's a difference in that?
A difference. Let's see. I know it's beneficial because I do it sometimes in the morning when I wake up instead of just like the alarm goes off, hit it.
We're jumping out of bed, like running out of bed.
Yeah, that's something I've learned from the podcast too. Is just like take a few moments to just deep breathe. You know, even if it's for like a minute or something, just focusing on your breath and taking that little bit of time to relax before you get to do what you got to do, and you can attack that more calmly and fluidly instead of anxious and stressed.
Yeah, you think a little bit more.
You're setting the pace to the race, bro. You're like starting a marathon. It's like you're not sprinting, right? You're gonna prepare and make sure that your mind is ready, and then you're gonna slowly pick up the pace as you move throughout the day. It kind of sets the tone to the race. Instead of burning yourself out right away, it's like, no, set a solid foundation and then build the house. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just building the house on dirt, right? And it's like each day is like a new day to build a house. What kind of house are you gonna build? How are you gonna design it? You know, all this stuff.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
You're
it's
in
up to
control,
us.
man.
It's up to us. It's up to us.
So you can control it and like take a breath. Like even that phrase, take a breath. Like what? You don't own it. You have to take it. It's yours. You can own it. You can control it. Where I first really started learning breathing technique is like in the Marine Corps for real, is they teach you breathing techniques, not breathing techniques in the sense that you would think of meditating, but like when you shoot. So we had to shoot like long ranges, like 500 yards out. So you have to have deep breath in and deep breath out, and there's a pause in between that exhale and the inhale is where you're at your calmest. Your body's most relaxed at that moment. Smooth. And now that I think about it, that's kind of like where I sit in my daily life. Is mainly I like try to hit that pocket and live there before I exhale. That was a side note, but anyway, that's when you shoot.
That's a beautiful.
That's when you pull the triggers, and you don't pull, you squeeze. But yeah, that's your.
Is it like halfway through the exhale that you squeeze, or is it like
after the exhale?
Oh, really?
Before the inhale.
Boom! Right at the end. Oh, that's fire! So you're like taking it and almost putting it into the gun and releasing it, letting it go. Maybe
Yeah,
like
it's like that's your calmest moment because your muscles are relaxed and you use your bone structure to hold you up like a tripod would. You're using your bones, and then your muscles should not be used because your muscles will fatigue if you're like holding it tight.
Start shaking.
And you're not breathing. Yeah.
Stay relaxed.
You're like,
Want to be steady.
You gotta be fully relaxed, and then at that relaxed moment is when you pull the trigger. Like I use that when I take pictures.
Sure.
Especially if you're trying to get the perfect shot.
Yeah, it's like that's the first time I really learned how to control your breath. Especially with yelling, they would tell us like, don't scream and yell from your throat. You're gonna throw. You're like, pull your vocal cords out. You can't speak. So you use your diaphragm down here and control that muscle to talk, to yell across the battlefield. You gotta get some information across. So like that's how you control your voice and your breathing is through your diaphragm. Even when you're jogging or running and doing cadences, right? You're like breathing in. So like that kind of goes along with what you're saying. Yeah, it's like all those chants are encouraging that breath of in and out. So it's like little by little they're tweaking your system, but unless you're paying attention to it, you know, like later on in life I finally figured it out. Like, oh, okay, and now I can.
It's smooth.
You know, it's crazy. Now that because when you run into when it's wintertime, it's a little bit harder, but it's more beneficial. I've heard, and I kind of think like now when you take cold showers, it's beneficial.
100%.
You know, so
We'll dive into that after because he's got some.
You breathe a little bit more different. Or you breathe differently when you're running in the winter.
It hurts me.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit more, but the more you do it, it's like when you take cold showers, you can't do it at
It's
first.
like exercising.
But yeah, you have to exercise your lungs for that.
That's fire. And we'll go into that after. Let's exercise them right now.
No, but we were younger, we used to, and it's different. It's crazy because before you can do it all day long when you're a kid. But as
Yeah,
you
you
start
don't
getting
think about it,
older,
right? You don't
it's
be.
way
You're like,
different.
you're not
More
thinking
wear and
about
tear on
that,
the
man. You're
body.
focusing on being that, having the most fun right then and there. Oh, how big of a hill can we go sled, or how big of a fort can we build? You're not thinking of anything else. You're just focusing on creating and living your expression
Play.
when you're a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, because they don't know anything else except for to be themselves. And having kids, it's kind of like watching them. It's like, wow, they're literally just expressing everything they got right then and there. And it's our job to like take it and guide it, or not even take it, but just like help and like build up little walls. Oh, don't go over the hill, but boom, still try to see how tall the hill is, or build a ramp, but let's make sure that the ramp is not going into a ditch or into a creek. Let's make sure that it's launching us somewhere that's safe, but still guide them to experience that creation.
Guide them, but you gotta let them experience it.
Yeah, it's like the movie Big Daddy. I take him there, like just let him live his life, right? Like, let him do what he wants, but like kind of guide him along the way.
Yeah. But if he does something on the way, it's an experience.
It's good stuff, man. There's so much to learn within ourselves and within our children, future children. Like, dude, there's so much for us to experience and to understand within them and what's happening through their development and woo, it's just a lot, man. Just thinking about it now, it's just like, wow, there's so much potential. There's so much potential that we can guide and teach them to be able to access that.
Yeah,
and be able to become aware of it, that it's there, that it's inside you, that you can literally do whatever you want with this power that you have right here, this presence. Dude, you can do anything you want.
So what do you want to do with children? What's like your intent, or like maybe a goal? Like, I wish this for them, or I would really like to do this for them, or guide them in this way.
Yeah.
What kind of things do you think about that?
I just want them to understand how to process the information as it comes, like not to get yourself worked up, not to get overwhelmed. Just let it happen. Let it happen. Let life happen, right? Let life do what life does, but just kind of maneuver, or like a kayak through the river, thinking choreographed almost, like just envision yourself kayaking through that river, or walking through life and envision how you're going to do it. Like, think about it as it comes within, like, because I guess, let me give it to a better expression. Because as I walk into certain circumstances, a lot of information comes in. Naturally, I just absorb, like what we were talking about last time. I absorb and I process, and I like do that, process that information within that second, like within that millisecond almost. So helping them do that most efficiently. That's
very important. It's coming from a place of wisdom. Like, you've already walked that path, and you just want to pass on that wisdom to them. How to maybe walk that path a little easier or more enjoyable.
Literally enjoy the process and take it as it comes. It's gonna happen. When it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. How you react is what you can control. Yeah.
Try to speak that to my kids all the time too.
It's important. And so that's the thing, is like, I wrote down, life is a constant understanding. Think and spend enough time on the little things in your life as well as the big things in your life. They're equally as important to focus your energy on, so that you can, what you said, cradle it in that moment, just, like right in the middle, that balance. You got to look at the bad and acknowledge and embrace the bad as much as the good. People are afraid of the bad. People are afraid to look at things. People are afraid to acknowledge those negative thoughts that we're having. We got to, or else they're gonna have power over us. You know what I'm saying? If you're just like lurking in the darkness, they're gonna low-key be creeping up on you. You're constantly gonna be like, looking over your shoulder. No, you don't need to look over your shoulder, bro. We don't need to look over our shoulder. Let's just understand what is behind us. Feel it. You know what I'm saying? Don't constantly hyper-focus on it, but become aware of its presence there. So yeah, like
acknowledging it, not being fearful of it, knowing that it's there. But kind of like on the last podcast, you had talked about like having fear, like how it would be necessary or something back in the day when there's lions.
Yeah.
So like, there is a difference between fear and having like prudence. Like, being aware of dangers out there that may harm you as a human and end your life. But then there's also irrational things that you're just scared of for no reason, or maybe there's a good reason to be fearful of it, but it may not even happen. But you can still be aware of it and watch out for it and be prepared in the future.
Be aware that it's an outcome.
And not let it affect your life in such a negative way.
Or dictate your moves, dictate what you're doing in that moment. It's like, dude, that didn't happen yet. And you're tweaking or you're freaking out. Like, just chill, let it happen before you feel like that. Once it happens, okay, then let's,
making decisions based out of fear or out of love. All these choices that we make, it's what it comes down to is when you're asking yourself, like, ask if it's coming from a place of fear or is it coming from a place of love. Are you like optimistic about this, or are you fearful that something is going to happen, and that's why you're doing it or not doing it? Either way.
Yeah.
I try to make all my decisions based out of love, like the love for this person, the love for this thing that's happening.
Yeah, dude.
If it's coming from a place of love, it's gonna be positive.
Like, focus on your intention and what you're trying to do within that moment, and it gives that intention so much more power.
So is that to say that anything coming from fear is not going to be good?
Anything coming from fear. So like if you're fearful of something,
Yeah.
I feel like good can come from being fearful of something. Just another perspective on it, right? Like
Right.
I don't know, for an example, like what being afraid of the dark.
Right.
Fearful of the dark. I mean, first of all, I just believe that dark is just the absence of light. That's what Einstein had said. There's no such thing as darkness, it's just the absence of light. It's all still the same, everything's there. It's just the light's not there to shine upon it and see what is available.
Yeah, what the actual color is.
So I feel like our responsibility as humans is shine that inner light within all of us to illuminate the world, to show and express love.
And through our lens too.
What is
our lens, individual lens.
Space is black, and then each star is its own individual thing, and that's what they reference us to. What I've seen or read, actually, every person is like its own universe, and then you just said, you're supposed to shine. That's what, as a person, you're supposed to do.
Isn't that miraculous though? Like we're kind of in the center of it. I feel like there's this whole universe expanding beyond us that we can't explore. But then also on a molecular level within our bodies, we have electrons, protons, like even the little tiny cells have their own like life going on. We have an ecosystem inside of our belly button.
Literally, we look at these ponds and like
all the way up and all the way down, it's all the same, and it's fractal.
That's like the most beautiful aspect of it, and understanding your place within that.
Yeah, you're just part of it. You're in some area of it, but you are also all of it as well. You're all from the same source. It's beautiful.
And all have the same ability and power within themselves.
Us as humans are just
fire
electrons spinning around this earth at a fast rate. And the earth is just spinning around like the sun, which is one of the stars in this huge galaxy, which is part of the universe.
That's why I always say, like,
so
zoom
tiny
in and zoom out.
It's like
Zoom
a little
in
electron.
and zoom out of your life. Like, zoom all the way into the cell, and then zoom out all the way to the cosmos and see, like, your place in it. And it kind of gives you a greater understanding of, like, maybe a little bit more purpose, or maybe less of what you think your purpose is, and it'll show its true thing to you. The duality of it.
Realizing that it doesn't really mean anything at all, but it really does mean everything. Absolutely, so much.
It takes away the meaning so that you can see the meaning, if that makes sense. Like, it's like...
It's an anomaly.
Yeah, dude, it's fire.
paradox.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's what it is, man. And you can see that through our children, and you can see that through each other. Oh, dude, that's the most beautiful part, because, like, it's like putting on a pair of glasses, right? Now you're able to see certain things. You can see the patterns and the love and the true, genuine love. Which source actually has the true love, or potentially fake love, which is like toxic environments or toxic relationships. It's like you're able to see all that once you like detach all those like unnecessary emotion or unnecessary experiences in your life that like we try to define ourselves by. It's like certain things happen to us, and it's like, we think so negatively about ourselves, like no, dude, like no, that's just something that we have the ability to learn from and move on and move forward. Like, don't allow yourself to be defined by any negative things that have happened in your life. Just realize that you can take all that and do whatever and take it up the hill, and reach the top of the mountain. You don't have to sit at the bottom of the mountain,
That's the way I feel. All these obstacles, challenges in life, they're just like ways to level up. Like in a video game, you gotta have these boss battles.
Literally.
You got to have these challenges in life
every day too.
Increase your strength. If you don't have them and you don't meet that resistance, then you just stay where you are, which is okay too. Like whatever the fuck your walk of life is, man.
It's your
You live in that good.
At least have your eyes open.
Increase in certain ways. You're gonna have to meet some resistance. And you're gonna have to overcome that challenge. I don't know. It'll help you.
And help you, enlighten you in that moment of like, okay, all that stuff. Because there's so much to unwrap, bro. I like to relate it to a Christmas present. Like every day we're given a Christmas present, and it's like life and presence and breath in our lungs, so we can like open it up and literally do whatever we want. And some people choose to do the same old habits that like are negatively impacting them or the people around them, and they're not really opening the gift that like God or the universe has given them. It's like, dude, look at all this potential right here, dude. Open that bitch up, see what's good with it, and let it go. And then that's when you fully start expressing, and all your gifts start coming. All the natural things that you're like super good at or super passionate about will come to the surface. You know, because you're letting yourself be. You're just like being within that moment, wherever you are, whether it's with your kids or whether it's on a podcast, like whatever it is, it's like still that expression is where that's genuine expression, that genuine intention behind what we're saying, what we're expressing. It adds so much power to it.
It does, just being genuine and pure.
Everything or affect negatively everything. We could build or we could destroy. Like this power is.
You got free will as a human being.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. If we aren't aware of it, we could damage a lot. Like I have in the past. Like I've damaged a lot of people because I wasn't aware of what I was capable of almost.
Consequence.
You know? Yeah, and then it just like happened. And then after all of it, I'm like, oh shit. Like I just like steamrolled almost through life. And then one day I was like, oh crap. Like I just woke up to it a little bit and like started seeing everything as like information instead of like emotionally attached to it all. And you're like, okay, first of all, that's not me. Second of all, I can do whatever I want. If I've destroyed, I can create and build. You know, and that's the beautiful like decision to or transfer the energy somewhere else, which I want to talk about a little bit later with boomers, or we can talk about it now too with boomers and like what that does to the mind or what you think it does to your mind.
Psychedelic talk on some shrooms.
Psychedelic, bro. Yeah, we're skipping a couple steps, but yeah, man, psychedelic.
Oh boy. So I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's an alien that planted it on an asteroid that happened to hit Earth, and then it started to grow here to influence the brains of us humans. Like, have you guys heard of the stoned ape theory? Like, the apes, before we were humans, walking around grabbing shrooms from like cow dung, right, ingesting them, realizing of the expansion of consciousness, the altered perception of reality for a certain amount of time, to where I feel it's an unveiling of what's already there versus tripping and hallucinating and seeing stuff that's not there. So in that way, I feel it's like a gift to like expand your mind, like, and it connects different parts of your brain which you wouldn't normally connect. So you
neurological pathways.
It opens up your mind a little bit more and different. Yeah, different. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, instead of taking the same way home, let's take a turn. Let's take a turn, or let's actually bust a U-turn. Let's go see what we just passed right there. You know, and I feel like that's what it does in our mind. It like opens up these little new roads, the side roads. It doesn't matter if it's longer. It's got more experience within it. It's got more information inside.
Because there's many ways to get there to the same end point. You can take another path, like you said.
Straight up, dude. Straight up. Boomers are very powerful.
That's my idea of truth. I don't know. I think they were.
Everybody different. Yeah.
You can't stop them out of Earth. Like, they just pop up everywhere.
They do their thing, regardless.
I think there's 4 times the
amount. There's a lot of benefits for them, too.
Yeah.
Even for, like I've heard that, especially for a lot of veterans, it helps with depression and a lot of different things like that.
PTSD.
That's why they're starting to legalize it in certain states now, because I think they really know the benefits rather than, like, most of the time before I did them, the only stories I would ever hear is from people who never done them. And it's like, how do you get a story from somebody who has
How do you have an opinion about something you never
it.
experienced?
But it's because maybe they were scared to get deep with themselves. So they were scared to do their own thing with the shrooms or whatever. And then people who I have like heard that did them before, you know, everybody's story was different. Like they always say, you know, just be careful with it, because it is like real eye opening. I feel like when you actually try them. And depending what you're doing for, some people do them to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Some people do it at more like a spiritual level.
It's like a spaceship. You can take it and go run into some asteroid belt and just get the experience and thrill of going through the asteroid belt, or you could go to Mars and see what's there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a thing to navigate your mind to understand like the different routes that we can take.
So what's the best trip you had?
Let's see. The best trip?
That's a very good question.
That's tough. I have tripped a lot. And they're all very beneficial. I've learned from each and every one of them.
No, you do. I definitely think you do.
So the greatest experience plus the information or the takeaway.
The takeaway from it, just like focusing on something with new eyes and a new perception, like you had explained, like putting on a new pair of glasses and finally seeing it with a new lens. So like even like a painting or something, a piece of art that you like to look at, and you have noticed something inside of it before, and you're acknowledging the beauty within it, and even reflections in certain things, like a glass of water, and focusing more on the reflection and the colors there versus just your mind deciding, oh, I see a glass and it's water. Like,
Yeah, just like
you're seeing it for the
that.
first time. Okay, these reflections and these colors are so brilliant, and how does that even happen with light fractaling from photons into a water source and going into my eyeballs? Like, I don't know, you just focus on little minute details. So like that's the takeaway, is like you said, take a U-turn, stop, pause, check this scenery out for a little while. I feel like that's what it kind of shows me.
To like stop and pause and
Stop,
observe,
focus, appreciate,
take in like, and like with the breath, like take it in. And not only the breath, but the whole experience and all the beautiful information that's in there. Like each one of us brings something so different and so beautifully connected to this moment that we can absorb and take away from all of it. It's just like you're the glass of water. Just look at the glass of water and understand, why is that water staying in the cup like that? How is that able to sit on the counter and not, you know, like think about it like that, a little bit more complex, but about one another. Because we are a cup of water. We have so much information in us, you know. It's like we're filled, man. We just gotta understand what we're filled with. That's what helps me bring the surface, like boomers and stuff helps me bring the stuff to the surface that I'm like maybe subconsciously thinking about, not wanting to think about, but it like forces it to the top of the water. I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. I never have no.
That really brings everything.
You've done that?
No, but I mean I've done it one time, but from one of my guys that's done it. Like he. Like,
what was your experience, like going into it with their mindset?
I don't know,
like
it only lasted like 3 minutes.
Did you close your eyes or did you keep your eyes open?
Yeah, no, my guy had like a, I don't even know, what was it, like spiritual music?
He
it
put some like
like
Peruvian Mayan.
Yeah, because he wants
music,
to wants to actually do like the whole trip where you go there and do it
cool.
with like an actual shaman and everything.
Sure.
Like,
So
like a guided experience.
how did you smoke it?
Shit, I forgot how we did it.
I seen it off a bowl.
Was it a bowl?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was
You did it too?
No, I
he
was
was there, but it's funny because like
his what's it called, chaperone.
Oh, okay, sure.
I was sitting there.
Trip sitter.
How is that? How important is that? I'm sorry. Go into.
Honestly, I don't know how
into-
important it was, but I just, because I mean I trust my guy. He was doing it for a while. And he's in a way better place than what he is. But at the time, he was like, "Hey, I want you to try this." I was like, "All right, fuck it, I'll try it." But honestly, I don't think I didn't trip like how you're supposed to.
You think
It
you
felt like it was like
held
a
yourself
30-minute
back
trip.
a little bit?
No, I just felt like being nervous, trying something different like that, going into something like that is way different. But yeah, he was there, but he had me sit down, and then it felt like 30 minutes, but it was like less than 5.
Yeah, that was quick.
And honestly, like the only thing I would hear is like it was him and maybe like 3 other people, I think, or 2 other people.
Yeah.
But all I was hearing was whispers. I couldn't really like clarify anything that was being said, but you know you could still hear them in the side just whispering, which is kind of weird.
Wow.
What were you
I
able to
didn't-
visualize while you had your eyes closed?
Oh no, I didn't have my eyes closed. I was just looking at the TV because on the TV was like
I know. No, I get
It was
what
a
you're saying,
visual,
because
like,
you shut yourself in, bro, and it'll like illuminate everything that you're feeling and seeing, or
he was
thinking
like a
about.
visual at first.
Sure.
And it was like with that type of music playing, and he was like just focus on this, and then after that, I think that's when you start getting a little bit deeper into it, closing your eyes and stuff like
I
that.
feel like as someone who was like watching it from the outside in, I feel like he was on I'm gonna do it, like, but he said he was nervous, so he didn't really like allow himself to like really do it. Cause I saw
Embrace it, right?
No, not just even embrace it, just like the physical side of things, like you gotta inhale that shit.
Oh.
He was like, and I get
Shit,
it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I can still see
he
him
just
still
put it on the
feeling
ball.
something.
It was just
Yeah.
one.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Because your mind's going through so much, trying to process
Yeah.
so much, that moment, like, do I
But
do
your guy,
this? Do I
he
not do
definitely,
this?
his guy definitely, he definitely like inhaled it, took the whole experience in,
Right,
and it was
yeah.
different. Like, cause I would look at him and his eyes were open, looking at the screen, I looked at this guy.
Yeah,
Tears
he's
falling down,
really
like,
he's
he was
really into
crying.
that.
So he had different experiences. He opened his eyes up. He was like, bro, like.
No, yeah, different.
He talked about his experience, and it was deeper than what you felt.
I feel like too, like when we're uncomfortable, especially during an experience, we tend to like talk or try to like make it make sense to ourselves, like talk ourselves through it to like, oh, you're okay, you know, like you're okay, like no biggie, because we're afraid to shut up sometimes. That it's like because we know it's gonna show itself.
Like now that I do know a little bit more about it, I'd be more willing to do it. But at the time, like he was just like
his guy was
talking to me about
it's
it.
a lot.
And I was like, okay, I don't really know much about it. I just know what you just told me. And it was new to, well, it wasn't new to him, but I tried just to see how it is.
Right.
How did you feel having a trip sitter versus do you think you would rather experience that by yourself?
Not really, because I felt comfortable with both of them. Like, even if it was just one or the other.
Did you feel more comfortable that you had someone with you, kind of like outside of, or, you know, with you, I guess?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but I don't know. Like, because both of them I still trust, you know? Like, one, I've known him for, like, damn near 20 years almost. And the other one I've known for, like, 13 years.
Sure.
14 years, so
it's like being around
they're
family.
They're still about the same. The other one has taught me a lot more about the psychedelics and everything and how it can, you know, change your minds, like, kind of elevate you in a certain type of way.
I just say that because like with boomers, I like to kind of almost be by myself because like I like to, like I'm again going back to the wrestling thing. I like to deal with it myself. You know, I don't want like have nobody to lean on or nobody to like save me almost. Like I want to put myself in an uncomfortable position and like, you know, deal with it myself, dude. I guess just like wrestling one-on-one, man. Like I just want to see that. Like I want to take it on. I don't want nobody to have to take it for me or to help me through it. Like because I want the full experience. I want the most information out of it. So I gotta push myself through it. That's just me specifically.
What is the most you've done?
Not like a hero's dose, but I think it was like 2.5. But the thing is, I'm a thinker, so I overthink sometimes too. And in these on the way up the hill or on the way up the roller coaster, I'm like telling you, or you know, building up all this anxiety because I'm not an anxious person, but in that moment I feel so anxious, and it like really just hits me in that moment to deal with that anxiety and to envision it and see what it's doing to me. And it's like wait, you know, and just like, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing, man? Just breathe, you know, because I get so caught up in those thoughts, man, and it's helped me kind of just like release it, like, you know, wait, I don't need to be tense, I don't need to be anxious, wow, you know, and then that's when that true freedom comes, and then I connect those neurological pathways, and then I go on my little mini journey. Man, I haven't taken too much, but I eventually want to. I like building myself up.
So now what you doing multiple trips? Because I know like sometimes you want to have fun with it too. Like one of the first times I've done it, we went to Colorado, and it was springtime in the mountains. And then that night it was like maybe like 5 of us, me and then like a whole bunch of older guys. And the other dudes were, I don't know, they were on a whole different level. But we started watching Interstellar, and as we were watching Interstellar, we weren't aware that it was supposed to snow like almost 2 feet.
Wow!
So we went there, and it was like 70 degrees, and then the TV started messing up, and I was really into the movie because it was like the visuals were like just amazing. Yeah, it was like way different.
And it's just the story behind it was amazing.
And I was in and it was an 8th that I had took, so these dudes were taking like quotes and. You know, as the movie's going on, they're taking more, and I'm like, they're probably like 15 grams in.
Right.
And once the movie had got messed up, I mean, I was tripping perfectly fine. All of a sudden, they start like, I don't know if you noticed that sometimes people start like getting naked
because
like,
they get hot. You get hot. We get hot.
Bro, these dudes.
That's what I was thinking.
These dudes were taking their clothes off. They were walking outside into the snow.
That's
like
funny.
it was weird for me because I'm like.
It was
I was like, what the fuck? This shit is weird now.
That's key.
So then I went to the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror. And I know people say you shouldn't be doing that. But I looked at myself in the mirror.
You do whatever you want.
In my head, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
What is going on, Joey? What are you in right now?
So
what is
guy,
going on?
I came knocked on the door and he was like, this close to me. He's like, are you good? I looked at him, I like, slammed the door. I was like,
you're like, I'm going to exit myself from this.
I went to the toilet, I threw up. And after that, I looked at myself again, I was like, it's time to lay down. So I went to sleep, and then they were, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. They're outside in the fucking snow, no clothes on. I'm like,
enjoying life.
Ooh, dude, I honestly feel like,
that was like my first like
that'd be crazy
that I ever took. So like it was way different. And these dudes are experienced, you know, they do that shit, LSD, everything. So when I seen it, I was like, wow, this is different.
Interesting.
This is different.
Yeah, it's completely different. And people
But it was
don't
cool.
normally run around
It was a
like
cool
that.
experience to see something like that. Like I never thought I'd go to the mountains, 70-degree weather. You get there, the very same night you get to almost 2 feet of snow. Like that shit was wild.
That is kind of cool though, man.
And then yeah, after that it was a cool trip. We ended up picking up some hippies. 2 hippie girls. That was funny. But yeah, that's
And talking and talking and
yeah, and they
experiencing
started
their lives
doing,
too.
well, I didn't do mushrooms after that during that trip because we went there for the Cannabis Cup, but they were doing them and everything. That was a cool experience.
That is cool.
But just
man.
different. It was not what I was expecting.
I feel that closed thing
But yeah,
because
it was-
man,
it
it's
was-
like
it
the
was cool.
hot man. It's a lot of heat, or for me at least, like I feel like hot everywhere. Like more recently was one of the better trips that I've had with boomers where I could like I envisioned my ADHD, and I was sitting in the middle of the bathroom door, crossed like this, just got out of the shower. Actually, no, I was kneeling on my knees, like, and my feet, you know, just sitting back on my heels. And Angelica was sitting on the couch. My girl was sitting on the couch, and I was just sitting right after the shower. On the way up, I was in the shower. As I got out of the shower, that's when all of the boomers were doing its magic. And so I was just sitting there, and I was just like completely peaceful because I like realized I like because this is when I was meditating a lot and learning a lot about awareness, and that we are like awareness, and if you just sit in awareness, it'll like illuminate, you know, life itself, I guess. So I was sitting in there in the middle of the bathroom door, just looking at Angelica, and I like saw her because we had Apple TV. I gotta give all the backgrounds because this is a crazy experience. We have Apple TV going on with the wallpaper, and it's like waves. At this point, it was blue, and it was like waves crashing on the like underneath the water. Camera looking up at the waves. So you saw that blue was reflecting on the wall, and it was like changing, like so I like was looking at her while we were talking, and she was going from like a baby form to like to her baby to bigger, going back and forth, and I was like seeing like, okay, like not only that we're just children, but we're always constantly growing. We are doing, that's what we're doing. We're having children and they're growing, and then they're having children and they're going. It's like the same cycle. So it's like it was going back and forth, and I was like, wow. And I like saw her as a bald baby, and then I saw her grow into the woman that she is. And I was like, and not like in her lifetime, but in that moment, in that little like vision almost. And I just told her, I was like, wow, dude, you're like going from baby to adult. And then she asked me questions about how I felt about that and what else I was seeing, or, you know, just dove deeper into that. And that's when I just started letting it go. And I sat there in the middle of the bathroom doorway for like a couple hours or like an hour.
Soaking it all in.
Yeah, man, just soaking it all in. And it wasn't like a 3.5. It was like, I think that was when I did like a 2.5 or a 1.5 even. So, like, regardless if you take a big dose, it's still got information in there. It's still so much information that we can unwrap right there. And it was nice, man, chilling. I didn't have nowhere to be. I was butt naked in the middle of the bathroom doorway, talking to my girl. Like, and it's funny, because every time I say this story, it's like, it just sounds radical, but it was very peaceful. I like envisioned my ADHD, and I envisioned life itself and it flowing through me, and I was like, wow, okay, cool. I think I can surf this wave. Let's get it. And there, I started climbing up the hill, going up the stairs, boss battles, beating the boss battles. I'm just like skipping levels and shit. But yeah, that was one of my experiences.
Almost like a little cheat code in life.
It was a cheat code, bro.
It helps.
It was, yeah, it does. It changes the game, changes everything. You know, you ever play GTA, or like we did Tasmanian Tiger, or something like that, and it was a GameCube game. And we, put the little code in, and it gave us all the different types of boomerangs that he had, plenty different power, like many different ones, just from a cheat code. And I feel like there's cheat codes here in life. It just places itself to like, it's like Easter eggs. So you gotta like tap into it, or grab it, or pick it up, or eat it, you know. And then like Mario vibes, dude. Low key.
Hey, imagine doing shrooms and then going to the Mario world. That'll
like going to the movies to see the new
No, they actually go to Mario world.
Oh shoot!
I think it's in Japan.
Okay.
Japan seems
yeah,
dope.
somewhere.
jump in the boxes.
That'll be crazy.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling? Because I feel like I haven't shooting in a while, but that little piece I took, I feel like I'm battling.
Are you?
Are you resisting?
I feel like I am.
I like
let it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do the breath work. How would you guide someone through that anxious moment in their life or that uphill to the boomer trip?
Just let you know that everything's all right.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah.
We're all here with you. Lots of love around. Nothing's here to harm you. Nothing negative is going to happen. I understand it may be uncomfortable. It could be like feeling like a little anxious. You can relax into it. You can embrace it. You can feel it. It's within your bloodstream. It's part of you. You're part of it. It's part of Earth. Earth grows. It's beautiful. It's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
It has an intelligence behind it. It knows what it's doing. It knows where it's going to be growing. It knows where the sunlight is. It knows where the water is. There's an intelligence behind it. Us as humans, it may feel uncomfortable to be in tune with that and feel that. You can embrace it and see it and love it.
Yeah. Give it
We could also fight it. It's still going to be there. That anxiety could cling on for hours, or you can relax and let go.
Yeah.
And love and feel and be okay with feeling different. Let it enlighten you. We could take some breaths. Yeah, you want to do some deep breathing?
Let's do some breath work, bro.
How about that box one? I know we got sidetracked right at the beginning.
I know. I was
off breathing. There's plenty of different techniques like the Joe Dispenza's work and stuff, but you want to do some of that box breathing?
Whatever one you feel good.
Yeah,
whatever one you're feeling that we should do right now.
We needed them incense.
I know.
I'm just confused if it's like the 2 fucking cold waters I took, or if it's like the.
It's the vibe too, bro, because it's like what you present, you get out of it.
We're on a podcast. Yeah, you're being filmed right now.
So much.
So
my heart too. You're not alone.
Yeah, right.
My heart is pounding.
Is it? Okay, cool.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I feel it has more to do with like being filmed for me personally than like an intervention of a new chemical within your bloodstream. But it's really both at play here.
Experience.
You know what it feels like? It feels like we're like doing this.
Oh yeah, going up a roller coaster.
And someone's like, we're trying to get to somewhere, and I'm just like,
go
You're
back
like,
to where
wait, I don't know
was.
if I want to go. I don't know.
I ain't really trying to go there.
Sometimes I feel that too, like if I'm tripping, like if I'm like on LSD or shrooms, and like that ride up there before the peak and before it like tapers off. But just realize that there is like an arc to this, and it's natural to feel like that. Like I assimilate it like with going up the roller coaster, like you're getting like excited, kind of anxious, tense before that drop off.
Yeah.
But it feels like that, like tense, like anxiety.
So what would you recommend for
It's
somebody?
natural. It's natural.
For somebody
Because
on their first trip, would you recommend microdosing or would you recommend going straight into an eighth?
Straight in.
See, that's the way to for I say micro, because then you get a little bit of
You
what's going to
get
happen.
a
You can
bit
kind of
from
prepare.
both. Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm an overthinker. He's a sender. It's like he's willing to experience it right away, and I want to work my way up because I'm super cautious.
He's
I'm
like,
super
big
cautious.
or
I'm like,
But I also had
know?
guidance on the subject. Like, the first time I took shrooms, we're just like, well, how much do you eat? He's like, 8 1/8. I'm like, okay.
That's what I was always told too. But then after you start hearing about microdosing and things like that.
yeah, I've seen the power. I've seen the straight microdose.
Every time after that, I took an 8. Every single time until like maybe a few years ago was where I started taking maybe like a gram and a half, 2. I'm like, okay, sure.
It don't really hit you like that, right?
Yeah, an 8th and above is where you kind of have this like experience of.
And that's where I haven't gotten to do yet, but eventually I will. And it's like when I do though, I'm like the type of dude that I want to go in there with some armor. You know, I want to go in there with a little bit of
There's a lot of different shrooms actually, and I feel like each of them do different things or are stronger than others.
Well, one time he gave me the liquid capsule of shrooms.
Oh, them things were.
You know what's crazy? One of you guys want to hear a crazy story on that?
See,
My mom got robbed the day.
Oh, it was that day.
what?
So my mom got robbed on that day, and that was a crazy trip. And I was hearing myself speak about it.
Oh, you were tripping
I'm
while
all like,
she got
I'm gonna shut up now. But yeah, it was a weird trip, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but
Nah, I do. Yeah, I remember that. That's
it was crazy, bro. I just remember my mom coming down up our block. She was like crying with the little girl
Oh no.
and our puppy, and she was just like, "Yo," no, just crying. And I was just like, "What?" And I was hanging out with you. Were you there too or no?
Nah, he wasn't there. I think
It was you,
me.
Serge, because we left in his car. It was like 2 more other people.
Okay.
Isn't it interesting too how like in those experiences certain things tend to like happen? You know, it's just like
They do on that.
it's like when I'm chiefing, dude. A lot of stuff. It's like, dude, what? Like in public, you're walking through Walmart or something. Someone's
during this time.
like, you're just confused. Like, wait, why is this? Like, someone might interact with you differently or something, and they don't even
But now
necessarily
you can
know.
be there for your mom and for whatever instance that it happened with a new lens versus the prescribed lens that you had prior to that.
Yeah,
I can see it in a new way.
It was just crazy because one thing I've learned from shrooms. I've done shrooms a few times. I've always done the same thing, like took a full eighth every time. So I always had like a full trip. And it just felt weird.
Yeah, the liquid psilocybin is different than ingesting like you said.
Is it like just stronger? Like hits the bloodstream or something quicker because it doesn't have to break down that material? Go straight into liquid.
I don't think it was quicker.
No?
Same. I don't think it was quicker.
It's more like measured though, that's for sure, because you know how much you're getting of the psilocybin itself. And you don't have other ingredients in it possibly that may come from the earth, from eating just the
The crazy
More of like it's like a chemically like
wax versus
yeah, it's like a lab thing.
concentrated.
Yeah, it's a lab thing.
Crazy part is that I took it after. Like I wasn't on it. Like it just happened, and he was like, "Hey, he already presented to me before this happened, like earlier in the day, and then it happened, and then we went to the bowling alley. He was like, "Hey, bro, I still got that."
Got it.
And he was like being like this little devil, you know, like this little like, sure you don't want this? And I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna take it. So I took it after everything had just happened, you know.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
What were your thoughts prior to taking it? Did you think like, because obviously you never taken it right before that moment? Or
That kind of shroom? No, I've taken shrooms before that.
So what were you thinking was about to happen, or that you were about to feel?
I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't think I was just like caught up in the moment. Well, what I've learned now is that
Is that when we went to the east side after?
no, that was on acid.
Oh shit.
Another experience.
Yeah, that was experience. No, that was just one thing I've learned from shrooms for sure is that anytime I'm on shrooms, I've always found myself gravitating back towards my mother. Like no matter what, like
Safe zone.
I could be like, could be 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I end up like literally in her bedroom hugging her every
really?
single time.
Wow.
Every time I've shroomed, like you could have these guys like I gotta go to my house, I gotta go to mom.
That's awesome, bro. Though that's cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
Right. That you can just run up to her and give her a huge hug, because there's a lot of people out
My
here.
mom was off her ass, like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Like, she doesn't know what's going on in my head, but like, I'm fucking tripping. Like,
Yeah, the
I
whole
just
world's
need,
going on
need
your
you
head.
right now. I just need to hold you because like I know this is home to me, you know.
That's
Do you
what I
think-
feel like with my girl.
Because the
out
first
here.
time you said you did it was when it happened.
No, I did it before that.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you think that had something to do with it?
What the whole like how
Yeah,
everything's
yeah,
tied together?
yeah, and then
No,
the
I
first
mean
time
that experience definitely had to do a lot with that. Like going back to my mom that night, obviously knowing what had happened to her, and I opened up to her. I was like, man, I just don't feel right now. I feel like this. And I told you too. I feel like this weight over me, where like I feel like as your son, I should be able to like go after this person and like retaliate.
Yeah.
I remember hitting him up and like, bro, like, yo, like I'm trying to do something, you know. And he's like, think about it. Like, is that really what you want to do right now? And I was like, no, but it's what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, right. It's like what I'm energized for. Like, dude, so much energy.
And I just like was processing everything. There's like deeper shit to the whole scenario. So I was just processing things like, no, this is what has to happen right now. He was like, well, and he was just one thing I've noticed about Joe is he's always been like this like presence that's there. It's like either you want or you don't, but I'm here.
That's good.
Yeah, low key.
And he's like, just like, well, hey, he's like, well, let me know, I'm here. And I'm just like, all right, cool.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, that is good,
Yeah,
friend.
here to support you.
It's crazy
Yeah,
because
good
you
person,
probably
good
would have
energy,
said,
bro.
said it if he knew what we were talking about in the long term of things. But he was just like, I'm here for that if you need that. And I'm just like, all right, cool.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's cool to have someone there that you're safe with, that can like, that you can kind of bounce off of the confidence. Like he isn't necessarily even being to be saying anything or doing anything, but him being there, or a certain person in your life being there, can like help you feel a little bit more power or safe. So like how I feel with you, having you around, it's like I feel a lot of power, man. I feel like a lot of like opportunity, and yeah, dude, I feel so much positive energy off of you, and you too, and you and Vic too, everybody. That's why we surround ourselves with those people.
Okay, yeah.
That's why we're
You
surrounded.
wouldn't put yourself in a position if you don't feel like it's gonna better you.
No,
or like
I feel so dope
Me, I got
with
my
all you guys.
Bro Jojo.
Yeah, I love JoJo.
Yeah, man, he's
I was gonna ask you, what is that? I
That's
was
his,
looking
his
at it.
homie, his best friend.
tell you about this necklace, man. My bro Jojo, you done broke yours, homie. But I still got mine. It was an accident. Forgiven.
Dude,
but we
that's
got
fire,
this
though.
together. So it's a spot next to Brunch on Milwaukee Street. and it's called like Bead World or something like that. And so these are kind of like customized. We just picked out this like leather strap. We picked out like certain bead. Oh, that's cool. Let's
dude,
put
that is
on there.
cool.
Oh, look at this robot, bro. Look at he's got like a little heart.
So you created.
Yeah, and we both got the same one. We both like.
Fire,
ended up
dude.
being up way more
Created
expensive
it
than we thought
together?
it would be. Because he's sitting there like twisting all these notches on, like doing a lot of like customized work on it. It's not just a necklace you can grab.
It's
So,
like created,
It did
yeah.
cost more, but yeah, it means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to JoJo. So yeah, kind of right here with me.
It goes into the intention
And-
behind what that person, like in that intention in that moment, he was making a nice, thoughtful necklace and putting all that stuff into there. It's like really what you put into it, right? Because it
Yeah,
could
you
be
could-
just a necklace, or you could have all that. Dude, this is the connection between me and my homie, and like,
Yeah, we're talking with him the
you know
whole
what I'm
time.
saying, and the
We're just waiting
experience
for
into
our
that.
Brunch
like the
next
thing you were
door
saying.
to be ready.
That's awesome, though.
We're
That's
shopping
such a cool
next door.
necklace.
It's the little things that you put your energy into, just like the big things, and that's something like that.
Yeah, it really does mean a lot.
That's awesome,
Certain
dude.
little things.
Let's do this breath work for JoJo. Then.
Oh, yeah, let's do
Let's
that.
eventually get to this breath
Alright,
work.
so let's start off by just
Like, we-
exhaling all of our
Right here
air. You know, just empty out all the air. And then we'll
Eyes
start
closed,
with-
eyes open.
Either or. Doesn't matter.
Should we start with our eyes open and
mean-
then close them?
I guess you guys can count on your own then, right?
No. Take us through it. Take us through them.
Like last time I did it, I was just like showing you my fingers
Yeah, yep,
for that.
yep.
I don't know.
So eyes open. We're gonna pay attention to your fingers.
Sure, we'll just do it like what, 4 times makes sense.
Sure.
For a box and 4. So let's exhale all the air out and we'll begin.